able to process their own stuff. So whatever you have going on in your life that you are wanting or needing help with, my job is to process that with you, which means like talking about it in depth. I ask questions. And then once that's taken care of, I can give feedback. Okay. So it's not necessarily like I'm telling you need to do this. Now, granted, I go against my own rules all the time. And sometimes I do say, hey, I really need you to do this.
I need you to do this for me now.
I have stubborn clients who, unless they're, told you have to do it, they're not going to do it. But yeah, I will give, feedback of, I'm hearing like you're doing a lot of this. Have you ever thought about trying this instead? Or have you ever thought about this? And, the thing about going into therapy is I think that inside of us somewhere we have the answers. We know ourselves best. We are with ourselves all the time. And even if we don't know that we know ourselves best, all we have to do is take a little bit more time to focus on like what's going on internally. I think we get so caught up in getting through the day, getting through work, going to the gym, getting home, taking care of this and that, and we don't pay any attention to what's going on inside of our own heads. And so if we just take a second to even listen to our thoughts and pay attention to like, what am I feeling today? What's going on with me? Then, that's a good starting point. But I think we have a lot of our own, and some people, I have never met anybody who didn't know a single coping skill. Like they could come up with at least one.
Do you think they don't know what they're doing is a coping skill?
Yeah.
Is that what you run into a lot? Is
like,
oh, that is a coping skill. You just don't know it.
Honestly, like anything could be a coping skill. Me coming home and drinking an entire bottle of wine is a coping skill.
Heck yeah, it is.
It doesn't mean it's a healthy one.
No, but we still do it.
It does not mean it's a healthy. No, not with my macros. I can't.
Yes, you can. Once a week, it's fine.
No, I think like anything could be called a coping skill. Anything that helps us to feel better is a coping skill. Whether or not it's a healthy coping skill is where, we need to focus on. So focusing on coming up with healthier solutions. So like, I think it's a great starting point when my client says, my coping skill is to zone out and watch TV shows. Okay, great. That's been working for you, but is it really getting you to your goals? Is it really helping you to do like what you're wanting to do right now? Well, no, because I sit there and I focus on the show and my problems are still waiting for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so what could we do differently? And that's like distraction. I talk about with clients a lot. Distraction is a great coping skill, but it can't be your only coping skill.
Right.
Because if I'm constantly distracting myself, again, the problems remain, but I'm just avoiding them and, never actually dealing with what's the root cause of it. So
yeah, they're just kind of sitting there waiting for you to come back to them. It's like a DIY project.
Yeah.
You start it. I'm tired. I'm going to go take a break. Okay, I'm going to do it 2 days later.
Right.
It's fine.
So distraction is okay for a time, but eventually you're going to have to come back and actually deal with the emotions and that you're feeling and the thoughts that you're having. And so I talk a lot about healthy coping skills. And one thing, so I recently, and I would recommend this book to anybody, it's called Burnout, The Secrets to Unlocking the Stress Cycle. It's by 2 women. I loaned my copy to Elena at the gym, actually. She's reading it right now. But,
awesome.
It's by 2 sisters. They're the Nagoski sisters, Nagoski, I think. Amelia and Emily, I think is the other one. But anyway, they talk a lot about like stress and how it builds up in us and causes all kinds of issues and havoc. And one of the things that they talk about is basically completing our stress cycle. And what that means is we have stressors every single day, and we have learned to be reactive, I think, with stress. So we have stressors come up and we're like, wow, that was really stressful and hard. I should really do something for myself. I should do something good. And that's great. But we miss the opportunity to be proactive.
So do you think that like people who have busy 9 to 5 or busy, 12-hour shifts are missing that point?
Oh, yeah.
Like you're saying, like we have stressors, but how are we coping with them? How are we actively controlling them or taking care of them? And
so we get caught up in that rat race and there's no time to take care of stressors, and we just think, oh, well, it'll take care of itself. But what happens, anything could be a stressor. Like I could not get into a car wreck, but I could almost get into a car wreck, and that's a stressor.
Yes.
And like those little things build up all day long. And if we aren't doing something to deal with them and to help ourselves complete that stress cycle, then we are going to eventually burn out because that stress is just going to linger, and it causes health problems. It causes mental health problems. Like it just causes a lot of issues in people's lives. I mean, in the book, she talks about her friend being hospitalized because she'd been under stress for months and hadn't done anything about it. And it actually caused her to have like, I think an impacted bowel.
Okay.
And so she had to go, and like it was caused from stress. So
do you think that if like stress could be basically a black hole, a never ending vortex that's just, if you're not trying to get out of it, you're just going to spiral until the point where it's like your body physically is like shutting down, or like how in the book it explained that.
Yeah, if you're not taking care of it. Yeah. So, and like the book gives a good example of like, you know, if you say you lived in Africa and like a lion is chasing you, okay, that's really stressful. That's going to turn up all of the hormones in your body that deal with stress, adrenaline, all that. And you turn to face the lion and you fight it and you kill it and you take it back to your village and you eat it for dinner and you guys celebrate and it's great. You complete your stress cycle because your body and your mind knows that stressor, that threat is off the table. You took care of it. But the same thing happens. You turn to face the lion and it gets hit by a random bolt of lightning and dies. Your body is still going to be in like that stress mode. Even though the threat is eliminated, you didn't work through it yourself.
So it's just kind of sitting there, like you said, just with distraction. It's just sitting there until you come back to it.
Right, which happens all day long to us. You know, stressors come and go all day long, and we don't deal with the actual, like, stress, the feeling. And so the book talks about, you know, the number one thing that you can do is physical movement. So moving your body every day is really great for stress. I mean, other ones, you know, intimacy, like sexual contact and things like hugs and even like sex with your partner, things like that. And then the third one is like creative outlets. So any way that you can be creative. But basically anything you can do to like give yourself that feeling of relief, like something's off your shoulders.
So is that why in Legally Blonde, she says, happy people who exercise don't kill... I don't know. I know I'm not saying it right, but basically what I'm saying is endorphins make you happy. Happy people don't kill people, you know? So like, with exercising, have you found that is even for you, like a coping skill, or have you told people like, just go out for a walk. If it's a sunny day, walk, be outside, move, like you said, move the body. So you're having that stress come to
Good
you.
Stress, yeah. Yeah. Anything to move your body, like stretching, anything. And that's, so to answer your question, yes, weightlifting and CrossFit. I mean, I tolerate CrossFit. I
tolerate CrossFit.
I come to CrossFit to weightlift.
To weightlift and socialize with her friends.
Yes, I tolerate the other stuff. But my goal has never been, you know, I started CrossFit in August of 2016. And my goal was never like, oh, I'm going to be a CrossFit Games athlete or anything like that. Like it was never.
Like everybody's goal.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. It was always like, I was a college softball player. Yeah. I played sports in high school. Like I've always been active and now I'm not. And I can't motivate myself at the gym because I've always been coached. And so my goal was just to have a place to go to, one, like keep myself, you know, physically healthy and happy with myself. Because I know like if I start to look a certain way, and it's not, I mean, it's different for everybody. Like people can be, you know, comfortable with any body size. That's great. I know for me, like when I look good, I feel good, and I look good because I'm exercising and moving my body and being strong. Like that's a really, you know, big thing for me is like, I like having muscles. I like being muscular, and it's something I've embraced. I didn't, you know, when I was younger, I didn't. It was always embarrassing because I was stronger than boys. But now I'm like, hell yeah, I can outlift you. Like,
you want to share a bar with me? That's
try.
Fine.
Yeah, Steven, share a bar with me.
Oh, God, I hope he listens to this all the way through. Oh. That was beautiful. Steven, we love you. We know that. Just gotta let you know who's boss.
Steven loves me.
You are, honestly, when we are all together, you are somehow the mediator. Sometimes do you feel like you're doing shit? Come on, you are doing therapy without being in a setting. Like
no, not really.
Okay,
I think
that's
it's just
good.
My personality. I think like even when I was like in middle school and things, I would be the friend like everybody came to, like, I have to tell you this thing, and I know that I can trust you. And I think I'm not that approachable. Like if you look at my face, you probably think I'm, you know, not very nice because I have RBF, but
all the way.
If you know me, if you know who I am, like, you know that I'm pretty approachable, and like you can say, you know, what you want to say to me, and I'm a fairly trustworthy person, I think. So I don't know how we got here. Oh, we were talking about
coping skills and then weightlifting.
Yes, weightlifting. So yeah, when I like, you know, looking strong, I like looking healthy. And so that was always my goal. And then along the way, I found like lifting is really the big thing for me that I keep coming back is I want to keep, oh, she's sniffing your feet. I want to keep lifting heavy and I like doing it. And when I'm in the gym, I don't think about anything. Like I leave work and I'm done with work for the day.
Yeah.
And all I focus on is being around, people that I like and getting to.
Sorry, she just under the table.
I know she needs attention. She's a toddler.
That's okay, but keep going. I got you.
But yeah, I don't think about any of like my stressors and stuff. It all kind of just goes away. And I mean, obviously, like there are still things after I leave the gym that I have to attend to, like stressors that are part of life that I can try to problem solve. But the actual feeling of stress, being in the gym, definitely takes care of that for me. That's one of my biggest ways.
Yeah, I think sometimes the gym environment can be a good like place to relieve stress, but then do you sometimes feel like people can be caused stressful? Like I'm not seeing the results, I missed a weight, and kind of like more like frustration in the gym.
Yeah, but there's a big difference between distress and eustress. So you mentioned eustress earlier.
Yep.
So eustress, for people who don't know, is good stress. So EU stress is good stress. So things that we do that are frustrating and hard, but we keep working at and trying and trying to improve on. It's a good kind of feeling stress. Kai, get down. Oh my goodness, lay down, please. And then, distress is the harder stressors. So like wrecking your car, your house burning down, a death of a family member.
Yeah.
Those are distressing things. And so I think for the most part, unless somebody is really struggling with like, themselves and their self-esteem.
Yes.
Then it's going to be more of that like eustress. Like I'm frustrated, but I'm going to keep working hard. But obviously, like, people's internal dialogue is different, and somebody whose tape immediately in their mind goes to, oh, I missed that weight, I'm a failure, I'm a bad person.
Right.
Like, that's distress. Yeah. That's not going to be eustress for them. But, if you think to yourself, oh, crap, I missed that weight, and, that really pisses me off, but I'm going to try again.
Yes.
That's probably eustress.
Yeah. One more thing before we go to the gym to go work out, and I got to coach class and stuff. Do you feel like you have had a positive impact with being that trustworthy person? Because I'm sure as a therapist, there's probably days where you're like, not about like I'm making a difference in somebody's life, but like, are we reaching our goal together as therapist and client? Like, are we on the right track to having a better outcome for my client? Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do I feel like I'm achieving that?
Like,
I hope so, God.
But like I said, I'm sure there's some days where you're like, not doubtful, but you're just like, hopefully that session hopefully they felt at ease after that session. Like, have you ever had those kinds of thoughts before?
Yeah. So it definitely depends on my mood and also like how sessions go. I mean, some sessions are just better than others, and like that's something you're going to have to go through if you do choose to do therapy. Anybody who chooses to do that, and I hope everybody does, because I think therapy is great for everybody.
Yeah,
I'm a therapist and I'm in therapy, and there's when you have a crisis, that's not the only time to go to therapy. You can go to therapy at any point in your life for anything that you want to work on, but. Anyway, that was a sidebar.
That's okay.
Yeah, so
it's all about it.
I think, there's going to be ups and downs with my clients, and some sessions are going to go really well, and I'm going to feel like, wow, that was really great. Like, they did a great job, and they did a great job because I was there to, help them too. Like, it's their achievement, and I helped them to get there, so that feels good. I never think that like I'm the reason people get better, because that's just not the truth. People get better because they want to get better and they make changes that are healthier for them. But there are definitely sessions where I leave and I'm like, God, like, am I even doing anything? Am I even helping this person at all? And then the next session they come back and, we're right back on track. So there's just like life, there's ups and downs with the therapy, but I really, hope for the majority of everyone that I'm helping and that they're getting better. And I encourage my clients to be honest with me. I'm a pretty straightforward type of person, and I'm just going to, like, if I have an issue, I'm going to tell you about it. And I try not to be, too like passive or passive aggressive with things. So I tell my clients, if you're not happy, please let me know and let me find somebody who can help you better, because there's so many therapists out there. And I mean, we're you know, with COVID this last year, therapists we're pretty full, to be honest.
I have no doubts.
Yeah.
Everybody's stuck in their houses with people.
People are struggling for sure, but there are, you know, there's like, just like there's plenty of fish in the sea, there are plenty of